I did not know something was wrong at first. There was no fight, no shouting, no big change that I could see. It was quiet. It started with small things, things that did not seem important. He stopped asking about my day. It happened slowly. First he would ask, but he did not really listen. His eyes were on his phone. I would talk, but he did not hear me. Then he asked less and less. One day I saw that he had not asked for weeks. His phone was always face down on the table. When it rang, he looked at it and then turned it off. He did not explain. His eyes looked past me, like I was not there. I would cook dinner in the kitchen. He would walk past me to get a drink. He never said anything. He did not look at me. We still lived in the same house. We still slept in the same bed, but we were not really together anymore. At night, he turned off the light and looked at the wall. Always the wall. Never at me. I lay there in the dark. I listened to him breathe. I asked myself when love became so far away. I told myself it was because of work. Life was hard. People change, I said. Marriage has good times and bad times. This is a bad time. Good times will come again. I did not know then that he was keeping a secret. We were married for 9 years. They were not perfect years, but they were real. We had fights about money. We had fights about his mother. We had fights about small things, like doing the dishes, normal things. But we also laughed together, real happy laughs. We had hard times together. His father died. I lost a baby. One year we had very little money for food. We held each other in those dark times. We became stronger. That is what I thought. We used to talk late at night about our dreams. He wanted to start his own business. I wanted to write a book. We stayed up until 2 in the morning. We drank cheap wine. We planned a future that looked bright and possible. We had routines that felt safe. Coffee in the morning. I made it the way he liked it. He kissed my head and said I was beautiful. We ate dinner at the same time every evening. On weekends, we went to the farmer's market together. When did all of that stop? From the outside, we looked fine. We smiled in photos. We went to parties together. We sent Christmas cards with our picture. We looked happy. And that was part of the problem. No one could see the silence. One evening, I tried to talk to him. We sat at the table. I could hear the sound of forks and knives. I made his favorite food, lasagna. He ate very little. "Are you okay?" I asked. He stopped eating. Then he said yes. "Just tired." That was his answer to everything. Tired. "You are tired a lot these days," I said. I tried to speak softly. "Maybe you should see a doctor." "I'm fine," he said, but his voice was gentle. Really, it was just a long week. I wanted to ask more questions. I wanted to take his hand. I wanted him to tell me the truth, but something in his voice made me stop. It felt like knocking on a door that would never open. So I said nothing, and his secret stayed hidden. Days became weeks. Weeks became months. I learned to not expect much. I learned to fill the quiet with noise. The TV was always on. The radio played in the kitchen. I listened to podcasts, but I did not really hear them. I found work to do that did not need to be done. I needed something to do with my hands, my mind, the empty hours. I cleaned the closets 3 times. I cleaned the oven until it was perfect. I planted a garden, but I didn't care about it. I did anything to stay busy. When I sat still, I felt everything I was trying not to feel. I learned to smile when people asked about my marriage. "How is David?" they would say. "He's great," I would say. The lie was easy. That scared me. And maybe it was true in some way. He was not mean. He was not with another woman. There was no other woman. He did not leave. He came home every night. He slept in our bed. He just was not really there. It was like living with a ghost. The first time I felt scared was when I knew I did not miss him. He went on a work trip, 3 days in Chicago. Before, I would count the hours until he came home, but this time, when he left, I felt nothing. I was not sad. I just felt free. The house felt lighter without him. I could breathe better. When he came home, my chest felt tight. It felt like the walls were closing in. I used to wait for him to come home. Now I did not even notice the time. Love does not always end with a broken heart. Sometimes it ends when you stop caring. I did not know which was worse. One night, I woke up suddenly. He was not in bed. I looked at the clock. It was after midnight. I found him in the small office. He sat at the desk in the dark. He just looked at the wall. "David?" I said quietly. He jumped. "Sorry, I could not sleep. I did not want to wake you." "Are you okay?" "Yes, go back to bed. I will come soon." He wanted me to leave. His voice was gentle but firm. When he came back to bed, I pretended to sleep. I felt the bed move when he lay down. He was careful not to touch me. But I was already awake. I listened to him breathe. I felt something in my heart. He was not avoiding me. He was avoiding the truth. The days after that felt heavier. I noticed everything. He would sit in the car before coming into the house. He would sit there for several minutes. When he thought I wasn't watching, he stared at nothing. When we were with friends, his laugh sounded fake. His secret was hurting him, and it was breaking me. I started to ask myself questions. Was I too quiet? Too boring? Did I ask for too much without knowing it? I thought about every conversation we had, every fight. I looked for the moment when I lost him. But some things do not have a clear start. Some endings begin long before you see them. The night everything changed was a normal night. No storm, no drama, just another Tuesday evening. He came home late. He stood at the door. He did not take off his shoes. "We need to talk," he said. Those words are never good. My heart slowed down. It knew what was coming. We sat on different sides of the room. He did not look at me for a second. He looked at his hands. "I've been thinking for a long time," he said. "I didn't want to hurt you. That's why I waited. I kept hoping maybe one morning I would feel different." Then I understood. The secret was not another woman. It was not anger. It was a choice he already made. "I don't feel the same anymore," he said quietly. "I haven't, for a while." The room felt smaller. I asked the question even though I knew the answer. "How long?" He looked down. "I don't know. Maybe a year and a half." 18 months of sleeping next to me, of saying I love you because it was a habit, of doing everything while feeling nothing. That was the secret he kept. He was not leaving now. He had already left in his heart. He left a long time ago, before he told me. I did not cry at first. I just sat there. I tried to understand how someone could be there every day, but still be gone. He talked about being confused, about feeling guilty, about trying to make it work. "I thought if I just stayed," he said, "if I just kept trying, my feelings would come back. I did not want to give up on us." I listened, but his words felt far away. I could only think about how lonely I had been, and I didn't know why. "I did not want to break our life," he said. Now there were tears in his eyes. I thought maybe the feeling would come back. I wanted it to come back. I believed him. That hurt the most. He didn't stay because he loved me. He stayed because he hoped he would love me again. That night, we slept in the same bed, but it felt like goodbye. In the days after, everything felt strange and unreal. We spoke politely, carefully, like strangers who share a house. I watched him pack small things. He was not leaving yet, but he was getting ready. A few books, some clothes, his computer charger. Every small thing he took felt like an ending. People think heartbreak is loud, but the hardest moments were quiet. Making coffee for one person, folding clothes that weren't shared anymore, sleeping without reaching out in the night. I saw how much of myself I had erased to keep the peace, how many times I swallowed my feelings, how many times I made myself smaller to avoid fights. One afternoon, I stood in front of the mirror. I barely knew the woman I saw. She looked tired, smaller, but there was something else too, clarity. When he finally left, there was no fight, no shouting, no last words begging him to stay, just a door closing softly. I sat on the floor. I let myself feel everything I had been holding back. Not just sadness, relief too. Healing did not come fast. Some days were harder than others. Some mornings I woke up and forgot he was gone. Then I remembered. The loss hit me again, fresh and sharp. Some days I was angry at him for wasting my time, angry at myself for not seeing it sooner. Some days I missed him so much I could barely move. But slowly I started to understand something important. Love does not disappear suddenly. It fades when people do not speak it, when people do not choose it, when both people do not take care of it. And silence can hurt as much as betrayal, maybe more. Betrayal gives you something clear to point to. But silence? Silence is slow. It is like 1,000 small cuts. The secret he kept taught me something painful, but it was true. You can share a life with someone and still be alone. You can sleep next to someone every night and still feel lonely. And you can lose a marriage without losing yourself. Sometimes losing the marriage is the only way to find yourself again. Today, I'm learning how to take up space again, how to listen to my own voice, how to do the things I like without saying sorry, how to spend my weekends the way I want. I'm writing again, not a book yet, but small things, thoughts, feelings I never let myself feel when I was trying to fix a broken marriage. I do not wait for someone to choose me anymore. I choose myself. Every day, in small ways and big ways, I choose myself. If you are listening to this and you feel unseen, if you sleep next to someone who feels like a stranger, you are not alone. Sometimes the hardest truths are the quiet ones. They come in slowly, then one day you wake up and see that everything has changed. And sometimes knowing the secret is the first step to freedom. You deserve to be chosen, not just once when you get married, but every day, in the small moments and the big ones. And if you are not being chosen, you have the right to choose yourself. It won't be easy. It might be the hardest thing you ever do, but you are stronger than you know. You are braver than you think, and you deserve a love that does not make you smaller or hide who you are. Thank you for listening to this story. If it touched your heart, please like the video, share it, and subscribe to Story Reading in English channel. Your support helps more stories reach people like you. With every story, our English gets better and our hearts get stronger. Remember, you are not invisible. You deserve to be seen.